Alrighty, so no one's on. It's good that no one's on because I'm really mad at myself because I scheduled this live stream for 11 o'clock and I'm starting this live stream at 11:27. Isn't that crazy? How things just come up and you have to address certain issues that come up and you can't really do anything about it. And that's what unfortunately had to happen. So I'm only human after all. There's only so much I can do, but I'm really mad at myself. Okay. So let me pull up, or actually not pull up, I shouldn't even say that. I wanted to talk to you about the astrology for the week. A lot is going on this week. And that's what I wanted to get into. I'm Ever Curdy. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, then I really hope that you subscribe to my channel. And consider hitting the bell so that you get notified when my latest videos will be and my latest posts will be. So every single week I talk about the astrology for the week. I go through the astrological events for that particular week. And I also do a general astrology video. And this week, the video will be on the progressed moons. I'm going to be talking about the progressed moon and what it basically is in astrology. So you can look for that video to come out to be published on my channel tomorrow on Sunday. Alrighty. So, I'm just going to jump right into it because there's a lot that I want to discuss. First of all, tomorrow is what is considered to be a Sun-Venus conjunction. This is the first thing that we have going on astrologically this week. Just take another Tic Tac. Alrighty. So the first thing that we have going on is a Sun-Venus conjunction happening in the sign of Leo. Now, in last week's video, on last week's live stream, I discussed that, that aspect in depth. A little bit more. I probably discussed a little bit more in that video than I will in this video. So I highly recommend checking out last week's live stream, the astrology from August 6th through 12th, where I discuss the Sun-Venus conjunction as well. So I get into detail about that. Another thing I just want to remind you before starting off. So I have a blog post that's going to be coming out. You go on my channel, you find the banner, you click on my website where it says my website, and then when you click there, you find my blog, and you'll find a weekly post every single week. So look for those posts, look for those blog posts every week. And then on Fridays, the blog posts are on Mondays, but on Fridays I do a TikTok video. So look for that TikTok video to be updated on my TikTok, and you can find the link on my YouTube channel as well. So that's what I wanted to remind you. That's what I wanted to just get out of the way here. Now, I have seen traces of several astrologers making videos and throwing out a fancy schmancy word called a kazemi. Let me just tell you, it's a good thing that I know what that is, because your audience is probably not going to know what the heck that you're talking about. What is a kazemi? I have no idea what that is. You might as well be saying Beetlejuice to me. I have no idea what you're talking about. Now, if you just throw out a random astrological word conjunction, now what I'm saying is that the person who knows their aspects and knows what the aspects mean on the general level. I mean, I consider myself no expert in astrology, although I'm very knowledgeable about it. I'm not an astrologer, nor am I a professional astrologer. But I know that a conjunction is when two planets come together in the sky, they hold hands, they meet up, and then they come together to be a conjunction. I am having a thought right now. What to put on my blog post every single week? We're talking about beauty. We're talking about art, what you like. So I'm having this thought right now that's coming into my mind that's saying to me, well, write about an astrological event that is occurring for that week. But I'm discussing all the events here. So I'm just going to surrender and let go of whatever I'm thinking about and write down whatever the heck that I want to write down in terms of a blog post. Whatever that may end up being. And I will give myself permission to do an astrological event for the week. I'll give myself permission to do whatever, as long as it is one blog post per week. That's going to be the rule. Okay, I've got my thought out of the way. Let me take it back to here, to what I was talking about. So a kazemi. I know that a conjunction is when two planets are in the same sign or close enough away. Because what can happen is you can have a planet and then another slightly out of sign. One planet at the end of one sign, one at the beginning of the other sign, and then they conjunct because they're close enough by mathematical degrees in geometry. So sometimes those out of sign conjunctions can occur. So, and I will read as many articles as I want. Anyway, so when astrologers say a kazemi, they should really be clear as when a conjunction. What is a conjunction? Well, a conjunction is when two planets meet up in the same sign. But a kazemi is when a planet conjuncts the sun. So that's the word for it. So the sun is your ego, your vitality, your individuality, your personality, who you are. The sun is who you want to be as an individual in this lifetime. I'm here, I'm on this earth, I'm living this life as an individual. Not for anyone else, I'm doing it for me. The sun always wants to bring you to, well, I'm living this life, I'm shining my light, I'm going after what I desire for me. And then Venus is what we love, what we find beautiful, what we find attractive. Venus wants to attract people, attract things. Venus does not want to separate or fight against. It wants to harmonize. It is all about peacemaking. It really wants to beautify everything that it touches. Because Venus is all about, I find this attractive, or I find this person attractive, or I'm really into this person, or I'm really into this thing. I find this thing beautiful. I value this. Therefore, I am worthy of having it. Now, that worthiness, that self-worth, that self-love, we are going through a review of that right now because Venus is retrograde in Leo. However, with this conjunction, it really brings about a lot of peace and love to the surface. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful conjunction with the Sun and Venus for lovemaking, for socialization, for getting together with friends and family, for connecting with people, for, reaching out and having conversations, and also being diplomatic. Not, fighting, but finding peaceful solutions to things. Of understanding the other's point of view. Of understanding the balance of the give and take in terms of conversations. You speak, and then the other person speaks, and then it's back and forth, kind of like you're playing a volleyball game. Or a tennis game. You toss it, and then it comes back to you. So, you're sort of playing catch with those kind of conversations. So, having flowing, kind conversations is huge with this. We also have a great aesthetic sense. We have a greater sense of what we find beautiful, what we find attractive at this time. It's a wonderful time to engage in beauty, to do what makes us feel beautiful, to do the things that bring us joy and pleasure. And we also have a great eye for beauty with this transit. Because one of the things about Leo is it can be a materialistic sign. Leo can enter a store and see a coat or a jacket or a Louis Vuitton purse and go, wow, that looks good. And I would look really, really good on that. And I also want to show off how good I look on this. And you know what? This costs this much money, but you know what? Why not? I'm just going to buy it. Leo is very, very materialistic. Knows what looks good. Knows what would turn the volume up in terms of making it feel better. Knows what would make Leo feel alive, what would really bring Leo a sense of satisfaction, joy, pleasure, and, Leo wants to dress up and be comfortable but look good. And another thing about Leo energy is that it also wants validation from everyone else. Oh, how do I look? Do I look good? It is a sign that very much cares about its image and how other people perceive Leo to be, because that's very, very important. It is about how I shine in my immediate environment, how I shine and how I show up in my personal life. So this is also great for lovemaking and romance, those kind of, relationships, especially marriage relationships is beautiful for connecting, having a deeper connections with people, love, socialization. This is also beautiful this is beautiful energy for seeing your environment. What can I do to spruce it up a little bit? What can I do to revamp it? Like, maybe this wall is getting a little dull over here, and maybe I need to add some, maybe I need to put some paintings, or maybe I need to grow some flowers, or maybe I need to do something, actively do something, because Leo is a fire sign. Fire is masculine. It is about action. It doesn't want to just sit around and wait for things to happen. It wants to, actually achieve something. And Leo is a fixed sign, so it does it with a willpower. And so, when we are looking around to see what we need to change and fix, we can do it with grace. We can do it with, I have eyes, I have a mind, I have ears, I have a good aesthetic sense, and I want to just add some more beauty around my environment. And it may be beauty that you may feel differently about come September 3rd when Venus stations direct, and we may feel differently about what we find beautiful or attractive. And we may buy something that we may later feel sorry about buying, but it is all part of us experimenting and us experiencing and us growing as our tastes are changing, as we are growing and as we are evolving. Our tastes do not stay the same. And it's okay to experiment. It's okay to try new things and find new things to make us feel beautiful. Experiment with new things involving beauty, love, and romance. It's okay to just do something spontaneous because you feel the inspiration from your heart that you want to do it, and it brings you joy at this given time. And it may not bring you joy and pleasure later on, but it brings you that joy now. And the Sun-Venus conjunction can really have us focus in on, well, this is the beauty, the love, the pleasure that I want in the now moment. I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm not talking about yesterday. I'm talking about what I want, how I want to beautify my environment, who I want to love, what I want to enjoy, what I want to experience right now. Another wonderful thing about this conjunction is that it brings a beautiful energy of peace and abundance. Because Venus is the planet of peace and love. And so we can find peace where we can appreciate peace in our environment. Is it our environment? Is it waking up? Maybe it is, well, I want to wake up and look at a yellow wall because the yellow wall brings me peace in the morning. Or blue is actually a color that I want to decorate my environment with that brings me peace. When I look at that blue wall, I feel peace. I feel a sense of tranquility. I feel good. I feel content. That's how I feel. So, appreciating peace not only in your environment, but also in your relationships. You know, it is about appreciating the peace that is in your relationships, the peace, the harmony, the kindness, the reciprocity, the giving, the love. In your relationships, appreciating those little moments where people are kind to one another, that you're getting along, that you are spending time having a quality conversation with another person, doing an activity, emotionally connecting, intellectually connecting, really bonding with that person. All forms of peace abound during this particular conjunction. And with that peace comes abundance, really seeing the abundance that we have available around us. But that's a little thing that I just wanted to throw in there. Because Leo is one of the signs that rules over abundance. And the abundance that comes from within comes from our heart abundance, our true heart feeling of the tremendous gratitude that we have for what we have and the people in our world. And can we see and appreciate the blessings that are available around us? Now, because Venus is retrograde, astrologers forewarn not to spend too much money on big ticket items. It's interesting that I made that mistake. Pig out on big ticket items. So the downside is spending too much money, because with love comes, well, I'm attracted to this and I want to spend my money on this. So moderating how much money that we're spending, how much money that we're saving. Do I need to actually buy this? Or can I just leave this on the shelf? Am I okay without this? Do I need to invest my money in this? Is this something that is going to be good for me for the long term? Do I really want this? Do I really find this beautiful? Is this going to work for me? Am I going to enjoy this as much as I think that I do in the store? Because I bought things that I think I'm going to wear, clothes I'm going to wear, and then I don't end up wearing them. I'm not going to buy button-down shirts because I don't wear button-down shirts unless I go to like a wedding or something like that, because it's not me. That's not my personal style. So I think that during this Venus retrograde, if we are planning to buy something that revolves around beauty, the clothes that we wear, the people that, not buying, but, with in terms of relationship, but you're just coming back to the buying bit. Before we're buying anything that is a beauty product or anything that involves our aesthetic sense or how we decorate ourselves or how we dress or anything like that, we really need to meditate on the purchase that we're making before we make it and sit with it long enough to decide, okay, this feels right. This will be right. This feels true for me. I actually truly want this. Now, another thing that this is amazing for is parties, a beautiful party-going energy, because with the social energy, this is great for throwing parties. But because this is under a Venus retrograde, this conjunction provides a really powerful opportunity for us to meet people who probably were karmically meant to enter into our life. That's the beauty of this, because when you meet soulmates under a Venus retrograde, there is usually a very profound spiritual reason for it. You're not just meeting anybody. You're meeting somebody who really is spiritually meant for you. You're meeting somebody who has a reason to be with you, especially in a highly spiritual way. And you're really meant to grow from this person in a profound way. And so when you meet a soulmate, you meet a soulmate. And there could be, relationships which are really powerful under this Venus retrograde. Now, I would recommend sitting with the relationship long enough, not just going, not just having a committed relationship all of a sudden, taking time to really get to know the person. Don't just, the thing about Venus retrograde is relationships do probably take a little bit longer to get off the ground as Venus direct would. So you do want to spend a little bit more time reflecting and meditating on, do I want this relationship? Do I want the love from this person? Am I open to receiving the love from this person? Taking time, giving the relationship some time before just jumping into the big plans, jumping into whatever you want for the relationship and all your goals that you want for the particular relationship. So that's going to be really, really important. But the energy of love is in the air. And the other thing that I do want to say is, in your relationships, where are your needs not getting met? your emotional needs, your mental needs, whatever needs, are they getting met or are they not getting met? And are there things that you need to talk about, need to address of my needs are not getting met, and how can I compromise, and how can I be diplomatic? Venus rules Libra, and one of the shadow sides of Libra can be codependency. Now, I'm going to give myself permission to put in as much information in these videos as I want to. I'm going to give myself that permission slip right now. Now, the thing about Libra energy is that we can be diplomatic. We can make healthy compromises, but from a place of personal truth and personal power. This is something that I really strongly believe in, is coming from a place of love and a place of being true to ourselves, respecting ourselves, standing up for ourselves. We can drop into our hearts and be true to ourselves and get along with people. Be true to ourselves and make compromises. Being diplomatic, being people pleasing, being peacemaking without peace and harmony at all costs. Without people pleasing or being the yes person. I find that really huge. So talking about where your needs are not getting met, home decor, beautiful for, home decor, as well as I was talking about decorating your environment. And I also think this is a beautiful energy for forgiving any wounds or hurts that you feel in the past. And this brings me to a particular relationship in my life right now. Under the Venus retrograde, the issue is coming up. Yesterday was it was kind of an emotional day for me yesterday. I don't want to call anybody out, but I do want to say that I was planning to see somebody yesterday, but unfortunately, it didn't work out. Because we are kind of going through a little bit of a sort of rough patch, I guess you could say. And this person feels bad about how I feel about our relationship. And it's kind of getting to that territory that I want to stop talking about. So anyway, moving on to August 15th, I think that's enough discussion on that. We have an aspect going on. We have the Sun squaring Uranus. Now, with the Sun square Uranus, first of all, squares always want to have us make a change. The reason squares are there is, yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. But if it is comfortable, guess what? There's no need for change. There is no need for growth. There's no need for evolution. But now there is uncomfortable, tense energy in the sky. And now let's make a change. There's tension. It's frustrating. So let's take action and alter something around. So that's what squares invite us to do. Squares are when planets meet at a 90-degree angle, two signs in the same mode. So the sun is in Leo, Uranus is in Taurus. They are not the same sign, they are not opposite, they are square to each other. So this square is really inviting us loud and clear to break free from any limiting structure, from any limiting relationship system, whatever is holding us back from being our true selves. Because it is a square, it does bring about some difficulty with some ego, because the sun is ego. And so with the sun energy wanting to express itself loud and proud and big and bold and not be inhibited at all, and Uranus energy wants to rebel and revolutionize, and it's radical and it's wild and it is abrupt. Uranus energy sometimes is not for the faint of heart. It is not a light baby energy. It is a heavy energy. It is a really powerful advanced energy that can rock your world, that can shake things up, but it's for the better. We just came off of a Venus square Uranus aspect last week, and that shook things up in relationships for us. Where we realized, guess what, this person's not for me. This is the issue going on. This is the truth. Really coming to a radical place of truth that this is going on in this relationship. Anyway, you can read more about that aspect on my blog, and I also talk about it in the weekly horoscope for last week. But this week, the ego conflicts. There could be ego conflicts where I want freedom. I want things my way. I want to experiment. I don't want to follow your rules. I want to do things my own way. I don't want to have to conform. So that energy can present itself. It's a frustration. Squares present frustrated energy. And so when we channel this energy into liberating ourselves and using our ego in the healthy way to free up any stagnancy or any limitation, and we can find the joy that we're looking for from this. This also presents some restless energy as well. So we can feel more restless, more antsy, more wanting things, more wanting, change, excitement, or adventure with this energy. We don't want things to stay the same. So one of the other things is, and it's about not sitting on that restless energy, but acting from that place of restlessness. You're feeling antsy, you want to change. The energy is feeling a little bit uneasy, but now I want to be proactive and I want to take action. I want to make a change. I want to make a positive difference in my life. And I want to take action. Uranus says, take action. Do something different. The way that you've been doing it's not working for you anymore. It just is not a sitting kind of energy. It's an action energy. It's an action oriented. The sun in Uranus calls us into it. It's like a thrust of momentum for us into action. Whatever fire is burning down, we need to sort of put water to it and burn it out. Because something in our life may be on fire that we need to put water out so that we can find the peace, find the joy, find the tranquility and all of the blessings and treasures and the advantages that come from this square. So making for positive change, liberation, liberating ourselves. It calls us to free ourselves up later, liberate ourselves. This is also an energy that talks about taking risks, getting out of our comfort zone, not staying stuck in our comfort zone. Certain things that we've been doing for security and because, we do things because they feel familiar, because they feel like the same old, because they're working for us. Why change something if it's already going fine for us already? But now Uranus is coming into the picture and giving us an opportunity to take a risk towards something much more exciting for us. This could be going on an adventure. This could be starting a new job. Whatever it is for you. This is about getting out of your comfort zone. Maybe there's a better job opportunity than shoe shining or working at a, cubicle or desk. Maybe the job example. I've been at this job just to make money, but guess what? Actually, looking back on this, I don't really feel like this is meaningful or enough for me. I don't feel fulfilled from this job. I feel like there's something more. So I want to change this. I want to try something new. And I want to find a new job, or I want to start my own internship or being an entrepreneur. Uranus is very entrepreneurial energy. I want to start a new business. I want to start my own business. Like these kind of things where you want to liberate yourself, and that may sort of shake up the foundations of your relationships in your life. But it may just be for the better and for your betterment, for your benefit. But it really is about more personal changes, having more, new personal goals and sort of having the desire to reach those goals. So, just being open to excitement, being open to taking risks. Yeah. And also any limitations that you've been putting on yourself. I can't do this. I'm too old for this. I don't believe that I have the capacity to do this. I don't believe I have the power to do this. I don't believe I'm capable enough. I'm adequate enough. I'm worthy enough. I don't believe I have all the skills or whatever excuse that we make not to take a risk, not to push yourself that much more. Now it's time to drop that and surrender and just take that risk. Taking that leap of faith into the unknown, into something new that we never tried before and we're not sure how it's going to go. But we don't know until we try. We don't know until we are willing to do something different that we may not be comfortable with, but let's just do it anyway. Let's just try it because it may make us feel better, may make us happier, more peaceful, etc. And if we want a better life, if we want to view our life from a better perspective, if we want to be at a better state of being and enjoy our life that much more, we may need to break out of our comfort zone to do that. Now, we also have on August 16th, which is the day of the new moon. This is a really, really big day. So this is the biggest day of the week. I do want to talk about a beautiful trine that is occurring from Mars to Uranus. Now, trines bring together the goods of whatever planets are forming this aspect. It shines a light on the positivity, the the advantages, the higher vibration qualities of these planets coming together in this beautiful alignment. That is energy that we can really take advantage of. So this energy is available for us now. So Mars is action. It is assertion. It wants to initiate. It wants to pioneer something. It doesn't want to check in. It doesn't go to the race and check in with somebody. It just goes off and do it. Aries energy is like, well, I want to do it, so I'm just going to do it. I may as well do it. I'm not going to stand around and wait in line. I am just going to go ahead and take this risk and do it because, well, why not? Nobody else is, so I might as well do it. So that's Mars energy. And then this is a wonderful time, a great time to initiate something totally original, totally out of the box. Again, we're talking about being an entrepreneur, we're talking about starting a business, we're talking about experimentation. Maybe in your environment, you have tools available for you. And you know what? I want to create something based off of these tools. I want to see what I can do with these tools that I have available. And I want to create something new. So this is a great time for out-of-the-box innovations, innovating something, taking up to the next level. Like maybe your weekly dinners could use a little bit more pizzazz or spice or innovation. Or maybe I'm going to find a creative way to utilize this ingredient or try a new dish or create my own dish or try this unique flavor combination. I mean, whatever it is. This is sort of giving us an open door for experimentation. It gives us the energy, Mars, to experiment. Uranus, you sort of put the pieces together. And, you know, it's like, if you've ever seen Shopped, they open up their baskets and they're just given a random bunch of ingredients that they have to do something with in a certain amount of time. And well, I need to have my wits about me and I need to make use of this. I'm just going to come up with something. I'm just going to have to be creative in this particular situation. So this is beautiful for thinking up something out of the box, being creative, thinking up new solutions. Using your, turning on your sort of genius inside of you. And not just thinking it, but acting it. So, Mars really gives you the courage and the will to be daring, to not stay inside the lines. I was reading this book about Aries, the book of Aries, which is, Mars rules Aries, and it was talking about the whole metaphor of staying inside the lines. And how when a child reacts to, I don't want to stay inside the lines. That's pretty shallow for a child to rebel against an authority figure telling you you need to stay inside the lines. But there's a deeper reasoning for why that child is acting out, rebelling, speaking his truth, and expressing his authenticity, which in that case was against an authority figure. So being a maverick, being the daring one, to not stay inside the lines, to go out of the box, to be original, to see what you can do with, rebelling and trying new things and seeing how things are, going to work out, and testing and tinkering with ethical boundaries, of course. But anyway, trying new ways of doing things is beautiful for that. And again, this energy goes back to freedom from restrictions that are limiting you. This is a huge theme across the whole board of this week. Is if there's any restrictions, now it's time to free yourself up from those. You could be feeling more rebellious and wanting to be more outspoken as well. So, speaking your truth, speaking what is on your mind, and being a rebel with a cause. And if your routines are stagnant, or if you just feel like, gosh, I need to change something. I have been putting this off. I set an intention that I was going to do more exercise today, and I've been putting this off. Well, guess what? I'm going to make a commitment. I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to do something different. And I'm going to get up and I'm going to take a walk. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do something different that is breaking myself out of my stagnant, same old routines that I'm stuck in, that I've been going round and round in the same wheel on. Now it's time to break those routines and do something different. It is about you being independent as well and taking action towards change. Now we're finding a little bit of contrast, because now we're talking about the new moon in Leo, which occurs on August 16th. So this new moon occurs when the sun and moon conjunct. Whenever we have a new moon, the sun and moon meet up in the sky. It is a once a month meeting. It is a monthly meeting where the sun and moon call us into deep reflection. So this new moon occurs at 4:40 a.m. Central Time, 5:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you want to find out what time zone this new moon is occurring for you on this particular day. The new moon will be occurring at 23 degrees and 18 minutes of Leo. So if you have any planets, personal planets, your sun, your moon, Mercury, Venus, or Mars, from 21 to 25 degrees of Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Taurus, you really, really want to pay attention, because the life area and the houses that correspond to those planets at those degrees will be a focus for you around this particular time. And you really want to get good at that life area. You really want to put more attention and more emphasis on whatever that life area is, because there could be some new intentions and some new beginnings in that area of life. Now, the themes that we're talking about. First of all, Leo is ruled by the lion. One of the things about the lion is that it's very, very proud. So stepping into our pride, what are we proud of? I mean, what do we wake up in the morning and just feel proud of? We just feel like it means so much to us. Taurus is about personal values, but I think that Leo is also a sign that corresponds to personal values. So what do we value? What do we truly love? What do we feel proud of? And what do we want to put our attention and energy on that brings us joy? That's the whole conversation. Dignity. Loving from the heart. Around this new moon, can we step into love? Can we lead from our heart? Live a life from our heart, speak from our heart, act from our heart. Do something that we feel called and inspired to do from our heart. Whatever lights our heart on fire, whatever lights our soul on fire around this time, this is beautiful. Now, this new moon has a really distinct flavor from other new moons in Leo for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is that it is the new moon occurring around the Lionsgate portal, which is a grand opening of Leo season. You can find out the information about that if you do your research online, or you can find videos about it. But with the flavor of the Venus retrograde in the mix, we are really taking a look at the matters of the heart and what and whom is lighting our heart on fire, and what and whom is not lighting our heart on fire. What's bringing us joy? What's not bringing us joy? What do we love? What don't we love? And during this whole Venus retrograde, we are being invited to get very, very clear, hyper-focused on our personal values when it comes to matters of the heart. So we can set intentions around the things that we want to do or how we want to go about our lives that is from our heart. Leading our lives, waking up every day and doing things that is in alignment with what our heart wants, following our heart. Is going to be huge. Now, the other thing is generosity of spirit. It's just a beautiful generosity. We're feeling more generous. We're feeling more loving and wanting to give from that heart space. So this is a beautiful time to set intentions on how can I give more of my love, give more of my heart to these people, or into what I'm doing. Am I putting my heart in this? And what do I want to put my heart into in terms of what I want to do? Do I really mean what I say? These are some of the questions to think about. And the hallmark of this Venus retrograde is, do I feel loved for being and expressing myself exactly who I am? Or not? And if it's a not, then I would suggest the importance of wide open spaces under this Venus retrograde and under this new moon. Maybe there's this person that I just, there's a beef that you have with this particular person. And now you're setting new intentions around forgiveness, around bridging the olive branch, around actually opening ourselves up to that love, dropping into the heart, and feeling the feelings, and reaching out to this person, sharing how we feel, receiving that love energy back. I think reciprocity is a beautiful hallmark of this new moon. And I want to see if anyone showed up or wrote any comment. Okay, not yet. Okay, so Leo is very personal. And so there was this one relationship in my life where I do not feel like I can truly express myself and truly be myself around this particular person. And there is a reasoning for that. And I'm going to try to be a little bit vague about this, but I'm just going to say that there's something about the Sun and Saturn synastry relationship that is a little bit dicey. It's all relative to the relationship. You can have somebody whose Saturn is exactly on top of your Sun. You can have that kind of relationship where, say your Sun is at I don't know, 24 degrees of Pisces, and that someone's Saturn is sitting at 24 degrees of Pisces. You could have that relationship and it can be gorgeous. This person can really empower you to, be who you, truly are. Really lay the discipline, lay the, foundations and structures, all those kind of things like that. Or the Sun-Saturn synastry can be difficult because it can be restrictive. You can feel limited from the person with the Saturn placement, because Saturn wants to put a boundary on whatever it touches. It wants to, it presents limitation, it presents obstacles, it presents tests. Saturn is malefic. It can hold you back from being your authentic self, the sun, from shining and being who you are. The sun rules Leo. The sun is exalted in Aries. Venus is retrograde in Leo. My sun's in Aries. This person's Saturn is in Aries. And it just so happens that out of all of the pieces of paper that Effie Trinket in the Hunger Games could pull out of that basket, she pulled a piece of paper that said, Sun at 16 of Aries, 16 degrees of Aries, Saturn at 16 degrees of Aries. This is the relationship that you will now have. And that's difficult. And there were certainly some things that could be smoothed over. There are some relationships out there that are oil and water type relationships, where the two people are sort of walking on eggshells with each other. And, really having to be very mindful of what the other person says, because who knows how the other person's going to take it, and that can present difficulty. But as I said before, if both can be diplomatic and peacemaking from a place of their heart and their truth, I think that can, and from a place of awareness and wisdom, I think that the love and the connection can come with that. And some relationships take a lot of work and take the give and take the Libra energy of reciprocity. And it also takes compassion, understanding, compromise, and validation of the other's feelings, consideration and acknowledgement of the other's feelings, of each other's feelings. Personal story. I was reading Astrology for the Soul by Jan Spiller. I was reading the Libra North Node chapter, and one of the things that it was speaking about was the Aries South Node has a tendency to keep score of how much it gives to the other person. It expects the exact same thing in return. This person with the Aries South Node expects the exact same thing in return. And maybe you could forget that there's other people in the room. Maybe you could forget, always fighting for what you want, always, getting in there, fighting for the goal of this relationship, fighting for what you want, that you take a chance and you take a risk and you do not consider and make any inquiries into what the other person is feeling. And so it's interesting how that lands within me, because that is like, some type of lesson that you don't want to hear, but it's almost like a truth that you need to hear. Like, the truth hurts. And it may be something that you don't want to hear and that you're irritated by it when you hear it. And it may be something that you already know, but you need to hear it, and the truth hurts. So, and I was going to see this particular person this weekend. However, I really don't want to rock the boat, and I don't want conflict, I don't want tension, I don't want difficulty. Sometimes in relationships, somebody can say something without any intention, and it just kind of gets you going, gets you fired up, ticks you off. And then you react to that. And then you're upset at that. And then there's something about that. And if we move into passive aggression, if we move into one person being passive aggressive, that is not, again, coming from a place of truth and coming from your heart and being diplomatic and all those kind of things like that. So yeah, I thought that I would speak about that. We're addressing your needs and wants in a very diplomatic and loving way. So anyway, and a healthy ego. Putting yourself first is not selfish. Ego can be a good thing, and that is just a part of life. Is you and yourself is just a part of life. So, okay. So, healthy ego. That's the other thing about this new moon in Leo that I want to speak about, is using our ego. And really the ego is what makes us uniquely different from everybody else. What makes us apart. On a spiritual level, on a soul level, we are all one. We are all spiritually and divinely connected. Where there's a compassion and an understanding there. But with the ego, it can be separation. Me versus you. I'm different. And where we can move into arrogance and fighting and resistance and all those kind of shadow sides of Leo. That's where it can get unhealthy. But a healthy sense of ego is, I believe it's being very clear about who you are and celebrating what makes you unique, celebrating who you are. And the ego is what makes you stand out and special. So nobility is another thing here, leading from the heart, and really having the courage to be who you are from a place of authenticity. Not getting, squashed or pulled down by others or drained, all those kind of things like that. Yeah. So that is something that is really important here. So being who you are. Leo just wants to invite you to be who you are authentically, regardless of whatever outfit that you put on. Whatever, mirror that you're putting up so that you get the validation that you look good. Just being who you are and loving who you are as you are. And truly being your authentic self from your heart here too. So, yes. So, and then the other thing that I just want to mention real quickly is an aspect going on. The other unique thing about this new moon is that the moon is squaring Uranus. Now, the downside of the moon square Uranus, we can lash out. We can act very, very impulsive because of the Uranus energy and the moon, which is a very emotional, reactive energy. We can feel like we want to rebel against people who really tie us down on an emotional level. We really want emotional freedom. Moon and Uranus is emotional moon freedom, Uranus. So, yes, that is a huge part of what this aspect is about. So, Breaking out of your old routines, yet again, trying something new, beautiful time where, where we feel emotionally nourished and emotionally fulfilled and content when we don't do the same old things, but when we try something new. And the energy could be restless. So it could be antsy, you could be feeling restless, unsettled, uncomfortable. So finding things to ground you, to settle yourself down is really, really important around this particular time, to add some stability to this rather wild and crazy, unbalanced energy. Again, as I was talking about before, approaching conflict in a peaceful and loving way, not being afraid to speak your truth, question things if you want to question them, and not falling to the shadow sides of emotional outbursts, and moodiness can also be a shadow if you feel moody around this time as well. So that's probably not the best note to end on, but I'm going to stop because I am done. I'm all talked out. So that is the weekly astrology for this week, or next week, for the week of August 13th through 19th of 2023. Bye for now.